Happiest of sunny Fridays to everybody. It's so lovely to be experiencing what I'm going to just call fake summer for now, but we'll appreciate that sun while it's here. But for now, we've got 45 minutes together for a little bit of Pilates. Grab a cushion if you'd like it for when we're on hands and knees, and please work through at a pace that makes sense for your own body. If there's something that isn't feeling right that we're doing in class, feel free to sit it out, sit a couple of the sequence out, and just take some deep breaths. And otherwise, follow along and let's get ourselves moving. Okay, we will make our way up to that mat. Any extra cushioning you have is going to go off to the side, and we'll back up to the back of the mat and bring our feet a little bit wider apart than our shoulders. Soften up those knees, bending them just a touch, and we're going to settle the weight back into our heels as we spread our toes away from each other, getting that stretch across the instep and across the arch. Press your big toe, your pinky toe, and your heel into the floor, and let's scrunch our toes back toward our heels, allowing those arches to lift off the mat a bit. Spread the toes apart again, plant them into the floor, and then scrunch the balls of the feet back toward the heels. Spread the toes apart, plant them down, and scrunch. One more time, spread them apart, plant those toes down, and scrunch the ball of the foot back toward the heels. We'll release those feet, let the toes rest into the floor, shake the knees out a little bit, and then again, we'll settle our weight back to our heels and take a big breath in. Exhaling, we draw belly and spine toward each other, getting that seatbelt of muscles active between the lowest ribs and the top of the pelvis. Let's look up to the ceiling and down to the breastbone, lengthening out all the way up toward the jawline and all the way up the back of the neck toward the head. Straight ahead, we'll give our chin a little nod back toward the neck, and then we turn and look over one shoulder and over the other. We'll repeat that one more time. Turn to one side, turn to the other. We face forward again and tip that head from side to side. Ear to shoulder on one, ear to shoulder on the other. One more time through, ear to shoulder. Bring that head up straight, and ear to shoulder on the other side. Bring that head up nice and straight, and let's take our arms up and overhead. Turn the palms toward the ceiling, look up to those fingertips, and then breathing out, we look forward again and take some nice tall side bends. We'll sway that upper body up and over toward each side wall, reaching the crown of the head and the fingertips up as close to the top of that side wall as you can. As we come back up tall, we press through our foot to help pop that trunk up in line with the pelvis again. Coming up tall, we open the arms out to T, palms facing the screen, and we bring our hands forward far enough that we can see our thumbs just barely wiggling in our peripheral vision. Quiet down those hands, we'll widen up our feet again and bend the knees a bit, sending that tailbone a little closer to the floor. As we drop those shoulder blades down to the mat, let's rotate that upper body. We're going to turn from our breastbone, turning that upper body from side to side. That rib cage is moving on a nice stable lower body. We're moving from that waist. We face our screen, stretch the fingertips out along toward those side walls, and then let's stir our shoulders in their socket, tracing circles on the side walls. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and let's reverse that circle. Taking those hands forward. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands back in line with the trunk. Squeeze your blades and send those fingertips toward the back wall. Hold it for 3, 2, and 1, and we bring our arms down by our body. Give the shoulders a few shakes. We point our toes to face the front of the room again with the feet still wide, a little bit wider apart than our shoulders. And then we tuck our elbows into our sides and bring the pinky side of our hands right to the fold in our hips. Let's fold over those hands with the tailbone coming back and the crown of the head coming toward our screen. Bend the knees a bit more and we engage our rear ends. Reaching those hands toward the floor. We can circle, spinning those shoulders in their sockets again. And spin them the other way. Squeeze those glutes, feel the hips working to stabilize us, and we quiet the arms down with the palms facing in. Squeeze and release the shoulder blades, tucking the elbows in by the sides for a row. And then keeping the elbows by the sides, we straighten the arms, pressing the hands back to the wall behind us. Sweep the hands down to the ankles, bring them up and overhead, and then we take them down by our sides and narrow up that base of support. Feet stay parallel to each other. Now we're going to line our heels up with our sit bones and move the weight slightly forward toward the front of our ankle joints. Take the thumbs and the fingertips to circle the waistline, press them in toward each other, and reset belly to spine to engage those muscles and feel them tightening underneath our fingertips. Lift the toes up, spread the toes apart. Let's work through a little toe coordination. We'll take our pinky toe first down to the mat, And then sequentially drop the toes down so the big toe can press into the floor. Lift those toes, spread them apart, and tap them down. Lift them up, spread, and tap the toes down. One more time, lift those toes up, spread them apart. Take them down to the mat, pressing the big toe, the pinky toe into the floor. Along with that heel, we're going to shift forward just a touch till we're slightly toward the balls of our feet. Hold that position. Feel the load going to the front of the foot. I want you to close your eyes if you feel safe doing so. Without the vision in the way, we can really hone in on what the backs of our legs are doing, what the soles of the feet are doing. One more big breath here. Exhaling, we open our eyes up and we shift our weight back toward our heels and then again forward toward the toes. Rocking back and forth through a range where we can keep our heels and our toes pressed into the floor the whole time. We're going to feel a subtle shift in those muscles underneath our fingertips. And then let's come forward to the balls of the feet again, this time coming far enough forward that we can allow our heels to come up off the floor, even if it's just barely unweighting them from that sticky mat. Press the toes firmly into the floor, particularly that big toe. Feel the soles of the feet engaging. Lift and lower if you can, rising up toward the toes and then coming down toward the heels, keeping the weight over the front of the foot. Lift and lower, there's 4, 3, 2, 1. As the heels come down, we shift our weight back over our ankles and we push the weight from foot to foot, feeling those oblique muscles kicking into our fingertips. As we shift, we're also going to feel the sides of our hips engaging, those glutes. And as we make some circles around our base of support, we'll feel the engagement turn on and off. Different areas are going to tense under our fingertips as we hit different points in our range. We'll feel those glutes kick on and off. We'll feel our quads, our calves, our hamstrings a little bit, all engaging in sequence. And then we come back right over the center of our ankles and shake those legs out. Take the hands away, shake out the wrists, open and close the fists, and we bring our hands forward to shoulder level with the palms facing down. Keep those shoulder blades drawn slightly down the back, point those fingertips toward the floor and then toward the ceiling. Lengthen out through the top side and the underside of those forearms. Point down, point up, keep those fingertips pointed toward the ceiling, and we open our arms out toward our side walls. Again, we point our fingertips down and up. We're lengthening through those forearm muscles. We're also giving a little bit of a glide to those nerves that live within that tissue matrix that goes all the way from the neck through those collarbones, through the front of the chest, toward those fingertips. Taking the hands down by our sides, we'll get ready to make our way down to the floor. So now's a great time to grab your extra cushion. If you have it, place it right in the center of the mat, and then we back up away from that cushion. With the fingertips by the sides, take a breath in. Exhaling, slide the hands down toward the thighs, down toward those lower legs. Hinging from the hips, we reach our hands toward the floor and walk ourselves forward. We'll find that all fours position with our knees on our cushion, the toes turned under, the big toe and the pinky pressed firmly into the floor. Walk your hands to a position where the shoulders and the wrists are lined up. We take a big breath in here and exhale, belly to spine. Feel that seatbelt engaging in front. Press through the heels, the hands and the toes. Curl up to cat, look toward the thighs. Reverse to cow, the tailbone comes to the ceiling and that breastbone face forward. Again, curl up to cat and through to cow. Curl to cat, through to cow, and bring that trunk to neutral with a still upper body. We wag our tail from one side to the other, lengthening out just around the belt line on the side our hips are moving away from. Come on back to center, turn the tops of the feet toward the floor, slide the toes just beyond the outer borders of our mat, inward internal rotation for the hips. Cross one ankle over the other, external rotation. Tap to the outsides and cross the other foot over. Tap, switch and cross, tap, switch and cross. Coming right back to neutral, we hold it here, curl through cat, take it through to cow, and come on back to middle. Bringing our big toes together, we'll take our knees toward the outer borders of the mat. And let's press our bottom down toward our heels. Press firmly through the heels of the hands into that mat. Maybe we can make contact between our sit bones and our heels. Let's lower our forearms down to the floor and slide the elbows in just to the inner knee joint lines. Press the weight from side to side. As we shift farther to one side and then to the other, we're going to feel the top portion of those inner thighs lengthen out on the side we're shifting our body away from. Coming back to center, slider walk the hands forward and lower that forehead. We're going to aim to get the forehead lined up with our arms. If you need to bend the elbows for comfort level through those shoulders, that's perfectly fine. And if you do have a little more room to move, we can lower that forehead toward the floor. Take one big breath in here. Feel the back side of the body open up. Feel the sides of the trunk open up as well. Exhale. Wrap those shoulder blades forward around the front of the body and wiggle your breastbone from one side to the other. So we'll feel one side shoulder blade come a little closer to the floor, and then the other side shoulder blade come a little closer to the floor. Coming right back to center, we bend our elbows, dropping the forearms to the mat, and let's push ourselves up and over so elbows and shoulders are lined up. Take that cushion out from underneath the body, twist it off to the side, and we're going to lengthen those thighs back behind us. Let's keep belly and spine drawn toward each other, press through the hands, and lift up until we're resting in the middle of our thighs. Let's squeeze our shoulder blades together and then press them toward the floor. Squeeze them together. As we press toward the floor, we'll feel that core activate a little more. Squeeze and press. Squeeze and press and hold here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Turn toward that screen. Tuck the forearm underneath the body and let's come to rest on our backs. Our knees are bent and we're going to bring our ankle bones and our knees together. Our hands are resting just beyond the outer borders of our mat. Take a moment here to get centered if you need to. And we're going to turn our palms to face the ceiling. Breathe in here. Exhaling, we nod the chin toward the neck. Gently press that middle back a little closer to the mat, and we drop belly to spine while taking our lowest ribs and engaging them down toward the floor as well. Slide the fingertips out to the sides. The fingertips are going to line up with each other at shoulder level if we can. We're doing our best to make a straight line from the hand of one side to the hand of the other with the trunk in the middle. Turn that head side to side. Feel the chest open up on the side. We're moving our head and turning it away from. The rest of the body stays nice and still. We look to the ceiling. Keep that core engaged and drop the forearms a little closer down to toward the body. So we're still have our palms facing the ceiling and the arms are out at about a 45-degree angle away from the trunk. Let's keep those shoulders pressed and anchored into the mat and we rock our knees away from the screen toward that far wall. Bring them back to the ceiling and rock them toward our screen. Big breath out as the knees go toward the screen and the far hip lifts up off the mat. Inhale to center, exhale, rock away from the screen. Inhale, center, and exhale, rock toward that screen. Come on back to the middle. We're going to inch our heels apart, our knees apart until they're hip width away from each other. Turn the palms over and press the hands up a little closer to the body as we press those palms into the mat. Let's picture that clock face on our midsection. We've got 12 toward the breastbone, 6 toward the pubic bone, 3 and 9 on either sides of the points in the front of the pelvis. We'll curl that pelvis toward 12, tucking the tail between the legs. We release it toward 6 with the tailbone arcing toward our heels. Roll to 12. Take it to 6. We're going to do our best to keep our head, neck, and breastbone nice and still. One more time, curl to 12. Lengthen down to 6. Coming back to neutral, we rock the pelvis away from the screen. The far heart hip comes down as we lift that screen side hip up a bit off the mat. There's 3 o'clock. Roll through the center and rock the far hip up off the floor. The screen side hip is pressing into the mat. We've rolled to our 9 o'clock position. Rock it to 3 and through to 9. Rock it to 3. Hold it here. Curl to 12. Tuck the tail between the legs as we come back to center. Roll that pelvis toward 9 o'clock and then lengthen through to 6, taking the tailbone toward the heels. One more time. Rock over to 3. Curl it to 12, flattening that low back. Rock it over to 9 and extend and lengthen through to 6. We'll breathe back to neutral. Big breath in. Exhaling, curl back to 12 and rock to 3. Take it to 6. Curl it to 9 and back to 12. Last time, we're going to rock it to 9. Lengthen to 6. Curl it over to 3 and flatten that back as we come right back to 12 o'clock. Release the pelvis to neutral. Our tailbone comes a little closer to the mat. Our middle back is pressed into the floor and we've re-engaged belly to spine. Float those arms to the ceiling and we reach them up to the ceiling. Spread those shoulder blades away from each other. As the fingertips reach up, we focus on keeping the head, the neck, and the chin nice and still. Lower the blades to the mat and then reach them back up. Lower them down and reach. Lower them down, reach them up. And as we draw the blades back to the floor, we pop our knees to tabletop, take the hands to the front of the thighs. Press the hands and thighs toward each other as we nod the chin to look toward our hands. Hold them here, straighten and bend those knees. There's 4. Here's 3. Last 2. And 1. Knees are bent 90 degrees, toes face the wall in front. Circle the ankles one direction, keeping pressure from the hands and knees toward each other. Circle them the other way. 2. And 1. We point the toes forward, draw the far knee into the body, and lengthen that screen side leg all the way out along the mat till we can press the back of the knee into the floor. Take that bent knee and we're going to cross the body. Take it over toward the screen. Arc it out toward the opposite wall, lengthening through the inner thigh. One more time, rock toward the screen. Take that knee out toward the far wall. We come back to center, ensuring we've reset belly to spine before switching legs. Pull the knee into the body, slide that other leg out straight, and press the back of the knee into the floor. Take that bent knee across the body. Allow your hip to lift up if that feels appropriate. We come back through center and we arc that bent knee out toward our screen, opening up the inner thigh. One more time, rock that knee toward the far wall. Open it out toward the screen and we come right back to center. Grab onto the shin, roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and reset belly to spine, nodding to look toward that kneecap. Hover your straight supporting leg off the floor and take it side to side. There's 4. 3, 2, 1. Circle the wall in front for 4. 3, 2, and 1. Take it the other way. Circle 4. 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there. Switch sides and press. Take that leg side to side. 4, 3, out and in for 2. 1. Circle the wall for 4. 3, 2, 1. Opposite direction. Last 4 circles. Last 3, 2, 1. Flatten that low back gently into the mat. Switch the legs and press. Switch and press. Switch and press. Switch and press. Repeat here for 4. Here's 3. Last 2. And one more time. Hug that far knee into the body. Lengthen that hovered leg down to the mat, pressing the back of the knee into the floor. Let's lesson point those toes. Hang on behind the lifted thigh and kick that thigh forward into the hands. We're going to widen those collarbones away from each other as we extend the knee and lift those toes upward. Flex and point that toe. Wiggling the ankle, bending your knee if you need to get that enough slack to move the ankle. We'll point our toes to the ceiling. Again, we hover that straight leg up off the mat. This time we breathe in, lifting up to meet the stretching side, and we exhale down to hover. Inhale and lift. Exhale to hover. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale and hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale through hover all the way down to the mat, and we take our hands to the floor, leaving that leg lifted up. Take the lifted leg from side to side, pressing the bones in the back of the pelvis firmly into the floor and leaving them there. 2 more. And last time, out toward that wall, up and over toward that screen, and we circle the ceiling. There's 4. 3, 2, breathe in at the top, and then taking that big breath out, we move our circles the other direction for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug that knee into the body. Release the front of the hip. Flex and point the toes, and we'll switch legs. Lengthen down the back of the knee, presses into the floor, and we hold on behind our lifted thigh. Kick the thigh into the hands, and lengthen those toes up to the ceiling, stretching out through that knee. Bend and straighten, find that hamstring length. As the toes come toward the ceiling, we flex and point for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hover that straight leg up off the mat. Reset belly to spine. Inhaling, those toes come to meet the other side. We breathe out to hover. Inhale and lift. Exhale to hover. Inhale, lift. Exhale down, and one more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lengthen forward, down the wall with the foot coming to the mat. We take our hands to the floor and our lifted leg goes side to side. Here's 3. Feel free to slow it down if that's an easier way to get you in touch with that midsection. We can make small adjustments to the engagement through that trunk as we continue to move our leg. Let's sweep through our circles, again, bending the knee if we need more slack. Here's 3, 2. Breathe in at the top, and then exhaling, we take it the other direction. Circle 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug that knee into the body, release the front of the hip, and circle the ankle one direction, the ankle the other direction, and then let's point our toes to the wall in front as we pull the other knee in to meet that pull inside. Go ahead and shake your legs out, shake those ankles, bring the knees to the sides, and then right back toward each other. We come back to center and rock side to side, allowing that low back to melt down into the floor. Breathing back to center, grab the kneecaps. We guide those legs right back up to tabletop, float the arms to the ceiling. We'll anchor our shoulder blades down to the mat, and we take that screen side arm back overhead. Lengthen the opposite leg forward to our hovered position. Hold, stretching the fingertips and toes away from each other. And then we breathe right back up to tabletop. Exhale, the far arm comes back, that screen side leg stretches forward, lowering to hover. Inhale to tabletop, exhale, switch and lengthen away. Inhale to tabletop, exhale, switch. Inhale to tabletop, exhale, switch. Holding here, we'll take our hands behind the lifted thigh, stretch those toes to the ceiling. Again, keeping this time keeping that leg straight if you can. Kick the thigh into the hands. And then we switch sides, keeping those knees straight as we can. This time, switch and switch. Gazes toward your kneecaps for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Keep a hold of that thigh. Bring the opposite leg up to meet it. Flatten your back against the mat. We'll hang on behind both thighs as we drop those shoulder blades to the floor, and then we reach our arms to the ceiling. Bring those toes out to the sidewalls for a V. Inhale the feet together. Exhale to V. Inhale, feet together. Exhale to V. Inhale, feet together. Exhale, halfway narrow V. Moving to helicopter. We make semicircles with each leg meeting in the center. Mirror images of each other. Nice and steady circles. The movement here is coming from our hip joints. Trunk is staying nice and still. If the knees are bent, that's okay. We just have a different looking semicircle here. Pull those toes to the ceiling, flex the feet. We turn our heels together and toes apart. Bending the knees, we keep our heels squeezed together as they draw in toward the body. Hold it here. Point the toes, big toes stay together, and we press toward the wall in front of us. Inhale to frog, toes are touching. Exhale, press them forward. Inhale to frog. Exhale, press. Last time, inhale to frog. Exhale, press. Let's take our feet down to the mat, heels line up with our sit bones, and arc the hands down by our sides. Rock the knees away from and toward that screen. Again, shoulders stay down. Allow your hips to lift up on the side those knees are moving away from. Breathe back to center. Walk those heels a little closer to the bottom, and we take another breath in. Belly to spine on the exhale. Squeeze the glutes. We're going to press our heels through the mat as we lift our hips up. Shoulders, hips, and knees are in line with each other. Lengthen those tailbones down toward the heels as we lower the body. Releasing the glutes at the bottom as we tap that sacrum to the mat. Squeeze and lift. Lengthen, lower, and tap. Squeeze and lift. Lower and tap. Squeeze and lift. Lower and tap. Squeeze and lift. We hold our bridge up at the top and take each knee out to the side for 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in again, and breathing out, we lengthen that body down to the floor. Release the glutes as the sacrum touches the mat, and we rock our knees side to side for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on back to center. Take that breath. Belly to spine on the exhale. We squeeze our glutes and lift those hips up toward the ceiling. Holding the hips in the air, we're going to go up and down on our toes. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels down, big breath in. Exhale, lengthen that body to the mat. Again, we release at the bottom and take those knees from side to side. One more time to the far wall. One more time toward that screen. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, squeeze and lift those hips. One final time. We're going to hold our bridge up at the top and lift one knee in toward the body, pressing the other foot firmly into the floor. March it out. And switch. And switch. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Press that foot into the mat, squeeze and lift those hips again. Take that breath. Exhaling, we lengthen the body down to the mat, releasing the glutes at the bottom. Ankles and knees come together and we rock the lower half of our body away from and toward the screen. Let's repeat that one more time. And rock. Coming back to center, across that screen, side angle over the far knee. If you have a little more slack without pulling into the head or neck, you're welcome to lift that far foot up off the floor. And then we take that body and rock. Take it side to side. Big breath in. Big breath out. Come on back to center. Unwind those legs. Switch it up. Ankle to knee. Lift that other foot if we have a little more slack. And we rock. Excellent. Come on back to center. Unwind. Give those knees one more hug into the body before placing the feet back down on the mat. Inhale the arms to the ceiling, and then breathing out, we drop our blades, nod the chin toward the neck, and reset that belly back toward the spine. We'll take our hands back toward the top of the wall behind us, and then we're going to breathe them down toward the mat. As we stretch the fingertips back, we're going to try to drop our shoulder blades away from our ears. Hold it here. We should feel some engagement through that midsection, right below the ribs. Slide those legs out, inch them toward the foot of the mat. How straight can we get those knees without losing that engagement through our midsection? Hold that position. Stretch the hands and feet away from each other for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms to the ceiling. Let's bend up our knees, turn toward the screen, and grab our cushion. Place it right back down on the mat. We're going to make our way back to our all fours position. Okay, once we're there, wrists and shoulders, knees and hips are lined up. Let's curl from cat to cow for 4. Reverse it. 3. 2 more. And last one, curl it up. Lengthen it the other direction before coming back to the center for a tail wag. Hips go side to side. Side to side. And again, come on back to neutral. We reset that trunk, belly to spine, move to shoulder taps, taking one hand right to the opposite shoulder while pressing the other heel of the hand firmly into the mat. Challenge it a little more by taking the hands wider, reaching the pinkies toward the outer edges of the mat. And then let's take our hands right underneath the shoulders and then walk them forward a pace. We're going to turn our toes under. Open up the hips to shift the shoulders again over those hands. And again, we move to our taps. 4. Press really firmly through that supporting hand. 2. And 1. That hand comes down. The feet come back slightly. We're going to pop ourselves up to plank. And then walk the knees out. One at a time. We take a knee to the mat and then come right back up to our plank position. Try to keep your bottom level. It stays nice and still as we bend through the knees and the hips. Take one foot at a time, just beyond the outer border of the mat. Last 2. Last 1. Back to plank. Knees come back to that cushion, and we walk ourselves back toward that all fours, shaking out the wrists. All right, slide that screen side leg back behind the body. Arc it to the side wall toward that screen, and then press your foot into the mat. We're going to do our best to get our big toe and our bent knee lined up. We can hold here, just opening up through that hip, or we could add a rock back as we lengthen into that inner thigh. Rock it back. Take it up. Last 2. And one more time. Rock it back. Take it up. We're going to take our screen side arm out to the screen. Breathe in. Thread the needle. Reach through to the far wall as we breathe out. Again, arm comes up and out. Thread it through. Up and out. Threaded through, and one more time. Arm comes up and out. Threaded through to the far wall. Let me bring that hand back to the floor. We'll press both hands into the mat, slide the leg back, and draw it in to meet the other side. Curl through cat, take it to cow, and come on back to center to repeat on the other side. We'll lengthen our far leg back and arc in toward that wall. Press your foot into the floor and lengthen the inner thigh downward as well. Stay here or add your rock back. We're doing our best again to keep our big toe and our bent knee lined up with each other. Here's 3. Rock 2. And last one. Coming up tall, press through those hands, slide the leg back, and draw it in to center. Big breath. Exhaling, we're going to lengthen that leg back. We're going to arc it out to the side, press it back into the floor, and then that far arm reaches out toward the far wall. Take a breath. Exhale, thread reaching through. Inhale up and out. Exhale, thread. Inhale out. One more set of each. And out. And last time. Let's take our hand back to the floor, hold it here. We'll slide that leg back, squeeze the glute this time, and lift the leg up. Reach the opposite arm forward, and we hold our bird dog. Hold it for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch sides. Lengthen that leg, lift and reach the other side forward. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to all fours. Switch and reach. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last time into all fours. Breathing out, we reach. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. That hand comes down. That knee comes down. Curl up to cat. Lengthen through to cow. And come on back to center as we walk our hands in toward our knees. Let's come up to our tall kneeling position. Feel free to adjust your position on your cushion as needed. We take one hand to the abdomen, one hand to the small of the back. Big breath in. Exhale, belly and spine come toward each other. We'll feel the hands come toward each other as well. When we lean the body back, we're going to find that point where we feel our thighs start to work. And then inhale up nice and tall over those knees. Breathing out, we lean it back. And then we inhale up tall. Exhale, lean back. Inhale up. And one more time, breathing out, lean that body back. Inhale up tall, take the arms down. We're going to hinge from our hips. Slide those forearms down to the floor and take any extra cushioning out from under those knees as we come to rest on our upper thighs. Pressing firmly into the hands, we send that breastbone up to the bottom third of the wall in front of us. And let's reset belly to spine. Let's kick our legs one at a time toward that bottom. 2 quick kicks if we can. One nice slow controlled kick if it's too much to keep that back nice and still with the quick movements. Either is fine. If you want to challenge it a little further on the last 3, we're going to take it nice and slow. Bend those knees, straighten them both out. Bend the knees to the bottom and straighten. Heels to the bottom, straighten out, toes press into the floor. We lift that breastbone up, take a big breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to turn and face our screen. Rest on that bottom forearm and bring the knees forward. With the hands on the waistline, we're going to lift the side of the waist up from the mat. Pressing into that forearm, we lift our hip up and down for 4, 3, 2, 1. With the hip up or down, you decide. We take our top arm to the ceiling, lower it to the mat, lift it up. Here's 3, and lift. Last 2. Take it up, and 1. Arm to the ceiling, lower the hip if it's been up. We're going to come up into whatever seating position works for you and give that shoulder we just bore the weight through a little bit of a break. Take a roll, grab that collarbone, draw it down, and tip the head away. Give that chin a little nod. We'll take it up and down. And let's breathe our head up straight and repeat on the other side. Again, we come to that forearm. Our knees are forward. And with our hand on our waistline, we lift that side body up slightly from the floor. Let's take that hip up and down for 4, for 3, for 2. Press through your knee. And 1, we can hold the hip up there or bring it to the mat. That top arm comes to the ceiling. Bring that top hand down and up for 4. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Lower that body. Take it back up to sitting and give that weight bearing side a roll back and down. And one more. Take your hand to the collarbone, draw gently down and tip the head away. And wiggle through the chin. Nod, lengthening out through the side of the neck to right in front of the ear. We'll bring our head up nice and tall. We're going to turn and sit lengthwise on the mat with our hands pressed into the outer knee joint lines. Elbows are right in by our sides, and we're making sure that our weight right now is just behind our tailbones. Open up the elbows a bit, lean that body back, find your trunk, find those abdominals. Open and close one arm at a time. Nice and steady, keeping the rest of the body as still as you can. Feel free to adjust the pressure you have between your hand and your knee on the side in contact. Side to side. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Grab the shins. We'll pull the body up tall and take the hands back behind the body. Straighten out those elbows. Fingertips are reaching to the side walls, and we send our breastbone up to the top of the wall in front of us. Let's keep that core active. Reach belly to spine as we inch the bottom toward the heels. Feel your biceps open up. Feel that chest open up, and then we pause here. If you still have a little more slack to give, bring those heels toward the bottom and unweight those hips, lifting up toward that reverse tabletop position. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Take those hips down. Sit for a moment, shake your wrists out, and we're going to make our way down to our side. Rest on the bottom arm with those knees forward and the hand on that top hip. Let's lift up our waistline and press the top knee up for 4. Lift 3, 2, 1. Knees come down, lift the feet. Lift 3. Again, we're trying to keep that waistline up, move from the hips. Last one, feet stay lifted. We press again through the top knee. 3, 2, 1. Take the knee down and the feet down. Press the bottom leg into the mat. Lift hydrants. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to hip height. Circle that top leg. We're going to go twice in one direction. Pause in the hydrant and then twice in the other direction. Again, keep that waistline lifted. Pause here, straighten the bottom leg out. If you need more support, the top hand goes to the mat. Lift and lower that top leg. Hydrants again. There's 4, 3, 2, 1. Press the top hand to the mat. Stretch the toes to the screen. Swing the straight leg back. Swing it forward and back. 2 more. Swing it forward and back. And last time, forward. Take it back toward the wall behind. Top arm overhead. Toes come down and up. 4, 3, 2, hold them up there, pulse to the ceiling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. Take the top hand down by the waistline, slide the bottom leg back, and we lift that bottom leg up. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take that top leg down, bend the knees, pat your hip out, and reach the screen. Let's bring that arm to the ceiling. Big breath in as we lift to the fingertips, and then we breathe out to open book, reaching toward the far wall, and then down toward the mat. Inhale up, exhale forward. One more time. Arm to the ceiling. Breathe it back. Arm to the ceiling and reach that screen. Let's come up and over, resting on the other side. Take your time getting there. Bend those knees up, lift that waistline, and we take our top hand to that hip. Press the knee up for 4. Press 3, 2, 1. Take the knee down, keep the waistline up as our feet come up. 3, 2, lift and hold them up there, and again, we press our top knee up. 3, 2, 1. Take the knees down and the feet down. We lift to hydrants. 3, 2, 1, and back to hip level, circle for 2. And 1, back to hydrants, and reverse that circle for 2. And 1, back to hydrants, straighten the bottom leg out, press that bottom leg into the mat, hydrants again. 3, top hand can be in the mat for a little more support if you need. Back to hip level, stretch the toes forward, swing them back. Swing them to the screen and to the back wall. 2 more. Swing back And last one, take it forward, swing it back toward the back wall, top arm overhead, toes come down and up. There's 4, 3, 2, lift them up and hold them there, pulse them to the ceiling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. Top hand comes back to the mat. Slide the bottom leg back and we lift that leg up. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Top leg comes down. We bend up those knees. Give the hip a pat and reach toward that screen. Let's take that hand to the ceiling. Breathing in, we look to the fingertips, and exhaling, we bring that hand back and down toward the mat. Inhale, arm up, exhale, forward. Let's do that one more time. Arm comes up. We breathe it back, hold that arm back, and we're going to turn our bodies as well. So line up on your back, stretch those arms out into T, and then turn and look over one shoulder, over the other, and right back to the ceiling. We'll bring our arms down by our sides and rock the knees from side to side as well. Again, we rock toward our screen and toward the far wall. Come on back to center, cross the far ankle over the screen side knee, lifting up if there's more slack to take. Give that body a rock. And come back to center. Unwind. Take the other ankle up. Lift to figure 4 if you can and give it a rock. Quiet down as we come back to center. Unwind and pull those knees into the body, opening up that low back as we bring our knees toward our chest. Take our feet to the floor. We'll turn to face our screen and then grab your cushion again, place it to the center of the mat, and we'll meet up on all fours. Once we're here, give that tail a side to side wag with the upper body staying nice and still. Come on back to center, curl through cat. And over to cow. And again, curl the cat. And through to cow. Come on back to center, turn those toes under, and we press the bottom all the way back toward our heels. From here, again, we can curl the cat and through to cow. A little more of a low back focus. Curl the cat and cow. Walk the hands back to the knees, and we'll flip our weight over to our feet before walking ourselves back to our center of gravity over those ankles. Let's push up nice and tall. Take a moment as usual to get your bearings, and we'll meet in the center of our mat with those feet spread wide. Turn the toes away and the heels toward each other. Fingertips come to the waistline. Soften up those knees, and let's settle belly to spine. Feel those muscles engage. We're going to walk our feet in, heel toe them toward each other. Heels are sit bone width apart. If you feel safe here, close your eyes. Notice any sway. See if we can counter it. Big breath in. Exhaling, we open our eyes. We shift to one side and place the other foot in front of us. Hold it here. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and shift back. Find your single leg balance if you can. If that's not working for you, put the toes down right at the tips. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1, and let's place that foot back down. Shift over toward it, shaking out the other leg, and we'll stand heel to toe with the other foot in front. Find your balance point, hold it for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and we shift back, rising up to either single leg balance or tiptoe stance. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1, and we take those feet wide. Shake the legs out. Settle the trunk on top of the pelvis. Shake those wrists out and roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Let's inhale the arms overhead. We'll exhale them out to the sides, down by the thighs, and bring those feet together. Let's close with one more big breath in. Arms come out, up and overhead. Look toward those fingertips as we press our palms together, and we close in center. Everybody enjoy the sunshine while it lasts. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you all again next time. Thanks.
Great, Joe.